Hi there and welcome to Season A, the platform where we speak truth to power. This morning we need to really dissect and look at something that's been going on. This happened last year. The previous government of Buhari signed a deal, a memorandum of understanding with Morocco and Europe. You remember, Joseph Borrell says that Europe is a garden. It is interesting that the garden is always interfering in the forest in Africa. Leave Africa alone. They don't want to listen, but they keep telling us that they don't want the forest to invade their garden, but their garden is invading remorselessly the African continent. Here's a perfect example. Morocco is the go-between. They say Morocco, Nigeria. No, the gas is coming from Nigeria. Let me show you something right quick. 1 second, please. Give me 1 second. This is Ondo State in Nigeria. You see, I put it up, Ondo State in Nigeria. Now, the interesting thing is this. Here is where the pipeline that they're doing from Nigeria to Morocco to get into Europe is important. Pay attention. Ondo State has one of the largest gas deposits in the world. And in terms of mineral deposits, I think it is actually, if it's not the second largest mineral deposit, gas deposit reserves in the entire world. I'll give you a bit more breakdown on that. 1 second, please. Wikipedia confirms this. I'm giving you further information. Look at this. So, and because if you don't have this information, you won't have a clear picture of what is really going on, and we have to put a stop to this. I keep talking about us trading for ourselves, and I'm going to come and talk about this on a live broadcast again. But here we go. Now, I need you to look at this, please. Really listen to this. It's very important to understand this particular aspect of it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No, resources. I'm looking at the resources. I had it up before. Beg your pardon. I'm going to try and get that up. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, as stated, you have the information there. Let me just make sure I put it up. I want you to see. You see, also, Ondo State has one of the largest natural gas deposits in the world. In the world. Stay with me. We're going to go into this a little bit more. In the world. Now, this is the agreement that they've signed into, unbeknownst to the people. And this is why I keep asking you to participate in your governance. The previous government of Buhari signed an agreement to export that gas out of Nigeria, the benefits of which we, the citizens of Nigeria, are not getting. We should be the first people to benefit. The whole of Africa, Nigeria should have that. Indeed, we should be trading with the rest of Africa for those resources. But they are piping it out of Africa to Europe. What fail me? Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you. Give me 1 sec, please. Let's listen to this video. It gives you a greater insight, and I'll bring the picture up. But before I play the video, actually, let me do something quickly. I want you to see this. I need you to understand what's going on. This is the idea that they have in mind. Make it smaller so you can see it fully. One more time, then we can really crack on. Now, I want you to see. So they're going to be piping the gas from Ondo State. It's going to be piped from Ondo State, yeah, right into, and then the pipes will go across all of these countries. These are sovereign nations, so-called, but they've been made to sign memorandum of agreement. How much did they have to agree to? How much were they paid? They were probably paid peanuts. So they'll put a pipe right across here to go into Europe. They're not showing you that, but that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So when you are hearing them talk about it, this is the image that you need to have in your mind. I'm putting that so we understand and connecting all the dots. Now let's go ahead.
But we begin in Nigeria, where they have signed a deal with Morocco and the West African trading bloc ECOWAS to build the world's second longest gas pipeline.
You see now they are signing deals with ECOWAS. Anytime they are signing deals, it's to take away our resources. And we are powerless because why? We are not sovereigns. Are you getting it? We are not sovereigns. This is an imposition. It is something we should all be against. Let's go ahead. This was done under Buhari government. Listen now.
The 5,600-kilometer offshore pipeline will serve 13 countries along the Atlantic coast before being connected to the Maghreb-Europe gas pipeline to serve European markets. At an estimated...
To serve European markets. So the gas that they're not getting from Russia is now in 10 years' time planning to be coming from Europe, from Africa. Again, the place that they like to exploit. And we are not getting the benefit of these resources. Can you see what we are talking about? Nigeria is at the heart of this. The second largest gas reserves in the entire world is in Ondo State. And they're tapping into that. And the people are not going to benefit one iota from this. Can you see this is insane? Pure insanity. I mean, absolute insanity. Signing a deal to sign off our birthright. What fail me? Let's listen on.
Cost of $25 billion. It is slated for completion in 2046. Let's take a listen to the CEO of...
You see that? So Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project. Not to benefit Nigerians, benefit Europe. Europe that calls us all sorts of names. That sees us as a forest that's invading their garden. But they're coming to exploit our resources over. And ECOWAS is assigned to it. You see when I say to you, ECOWAS is a puppet group. You see that?
Nigeria's national energy company.
You see that?
All the West African countries are supporting this project.
All the West African countries are supporting. So with the gas that we need in our own places, in our homes, to power different things, to power the CNG, whatever you want to talk about, all of these things. And the priority is for us to focus on the needs of Europe. How much are we paying for? Are they paying for us for this? They're not even paying fair price for it because our currency is worthless. Can you see what I'm saying? Let's carry on.
And of course, there's abundant gas in Nigeria. Our president particularly is very clearly very supportive of this. Our government is clearly behind.
There's abundance of gas. How come that we, the people of Nigeria, are not benefiting from that gas? Listen.
And this, and also that government of Morocco, and we believe that this project will be delivered on schedule and ultimately provide the opportunities for all our countries.
Well, for more on this, let's cross live to Lagos, where Sam Olukoya is standing by. Sam, good to see you. Thank you for being with us tonight on France 24. How important is this pipeline for the country and its economy?
Well, this pipeline is extremely important, not only for Nigeria, but for the West African sub-region and as far afield as Europe. For Nigeria, it will provide a lot of resources. This is a country that has one of the highest...
A lot of resources. What is he talking about? We own the resources. What we need to do is benefit from it on the African continent. This has been taken out of... Let's listen for a few minutes. I may have to abruptly end that discussion because anyway, he's a France correspondent, Lagos, Nigeria. So the angle from which he's talking about this is from from the European perspective. Can you see that? Sam Olukoya. Let me make it. Can I make it bigger? Can I make it? Yeah, Sam Olukoya, Lagos correspondent. Anyway, let's carry on.
Deposit of gas in the world. So this is an opportunity.
So let's hear again. Listen.
Field as Europe. For Nigeria, it will provide a lot of resources. This is a country that has one of the highest deposit of gas in the world. So this is an opportunity to exploit these resources, which has not been exploited so much. So it's a major opportunity for it to exploit these resources and generate a lot of revenue. It will also create the opportunity to harness this gas for several uses. For example, it will be good to generate electricity. Nigeria suffers a major shortfall of electricity supply. So
why don't we focus on that instead of putting a pipeline going right across to Europe? Why about African countries? How about signing deals with that so that we actually benefit the entire African continent first and foremost? Let's listen on anyway.
This gas will serve Nigeria and by extension serve West African countries.
Sorry about that. 1 second, please. Just gonna quickly mute this because I don't want that showing. That's not what I was looking for. We're just gonna quickly just bring that away from here for a second. Give me a minute, please. I'll be back. Right back.
It will also create the opportunity to harness this gas for several uses. For example, it will be good to generate electricity. Nigeria suffers a major shortfall of electricity supply. So this gas will serve Nigeria and by extension serve West African countries. It will also serve Europe, and especially at this time when there is a shortfall of supply from Russia, even though
the problem is that our currency is worthless, so they're going to buy our own gas again at dirt cheap prices. As currently stands, the naira is 1,800 naira per dollar. Now, if you factor that in, they're going to be buying our resources at less than a penny per kilo or thereabout. This is insanity. I mean, we have to wake up on the African continent.
it will not breach this supply, given that it will take a long time before it's completed. But at least it assures Europe that long term it will not have to rely on Russia for energy supplies.
So they're going to be relying on Africa now, and they will be getting our gas at dirt cheap prices as ever. We need to wake up. We have to wake up. Many of you would see I have the naira on the screen, the CFA against the naira, giving you the comparisons, and the dollar. And these are crippling prices that are making it so cheap for the West to buy our resources at dirt cheap prices. Of course, the rate in which the rate of their currency will buy more of our own currency, which means they can buy our oil, our gas, or our whatever at dirt cheap prices. We have to fix this broken structure. It is not serving the needs of Africa.
Well, Sam, along with gas, Nigeria is one of the world's biggest oil producers as well. But on Friday, regulators said the country was losing almost 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day to theft and pipeline vandalism.
We're not going to talk about that here, but we know that's another issue with the oil. So 500 million going away to being lost. But the point I'm making here is this: this deal signed here. Let me just make sure I go back to this deal. This deal signed here is a deal that is yet again exploiting our resources, keeping us, enslaved. The currency rate is doing us enormous damage, but people are not connecting that. Oh, the rate of naira, it's gone off, it's this, but it makes it cheaper for those who are coming to buy our resources to buy more of our resources at less value, so that they can take more out of us. Our currency tied to our mineral reserves means that they can buy cheaply, by the bucket load, buy as much as they want, and our people are suffering. That's why we're bringing this to you. It is not acceptable at all that this is happening, and we thought we should bring this to your attention. Again, let me bring that picture up just to make sure we highlight what is really going on. And I think we have to understand that this is severely worrying. We should all be very concerned at what has been agreed here, because it's actually to our detriment as a people. But many people don't see that, because of course, obviously, too blinded by many different things that they don't consider to be of value. Let me just show you again. Where is it? Sorry. Give me 1 sec, please. Give me 1 sec. Right,
this supply, given that it will take a long time.
So here you go. So the project will benefit 340 million people. 340 million people in Europe. Let me make it smaller for you. I want you to see this. I need you to see that. The project is expected to benefit, 340 million people. has more than half of the population in Europe. Nothing to do with Africa. This is benefiting Europe. Our resources benefiting those who see us as not worth to be called human beings. Yeah. Just I want you to just understand that there, right there. It is frustrating. As I'm looking at it now, the rate of the naira is less than 1 cent, less than 1 cent, which means that they can get to buy our oil or whatever at dirt cheap prices. We need to address the issue of the financial structures that are in place and the rate of what we have to pay, for or what we should get for our resources. This is not fair price. This is exploitation. This is pure exploitation. I wonder how you see this. I'm going to come back and talk about this on a live broadcast. I wanted to just talk about that. The project to benefit 340 million people, all of them in Europe, because it's not being piped for the benefit of Africans. It's being piped for the benefit of Europeans. And this is where we have to really understand when we talk about the exploitation of African resources remorselessly. This is a clear example. And we have puppets who are standing behind this and making this happen at the expense of the people they're meant to serve. That's why we keep saying, participate in your governance. Use section 14.2a, 14.2c, 14.2a. Sovereignty belongs to people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through its constitution, derives its powers and authority. 14.2c. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Now, in Yoruba, ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè gbàgbọ́gbàgbàrà àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. Now, 14.2c. The participation by the ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè. Again, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. That's what it means. We need to be doing this, and all the communities should be asking the government to look at that memorandum of understanding. That it is grossly unfair. How many jobs is it going to create in Nigeria? How many industries will can flow from that? That is what you will know. That will give you the measure of the success. And how can this be something that will make sure that our infrastructures are able to function? Because without that, staking those oil out is the same old issue of colonialism keeping us on our knees. We have to wake up collectively, and I stand by that. I guess there's not much else to say. I've shown you the visual, the picture. Let me just check one thing. So just to reiterate, they're going to pipe gas, which we have in abundance, second largest in the entire world, according to estimates, and just take it out to Europe to feed their needs. But our needs as people, lack of representation at the UN, lack of ability to use our languages in the UN, lack of freedom to actually exercise our sovereignty because the West, in many cases, except for the three countries I'm about to mention, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, they've all stood up and said, no, we don't want any part of this. We want out of it. We want to control our resources. We want our people to have a say in who governs them and not the puppets who are oppressing and exploiting Africa. I hope you find this beneficial. What are your thoughts? Let us hear from you. So that picture there shows connection of pipes. All of those areas that you see, the pipes, all the way to the top in Morocco, I believe it is. So we have to wake up, and then it goes into Europe. These are the realities. What are your thoughts on this? How do you see it? Is it not time that we Africans begin to put Africa first? Before we sell to anybody else, we have to make sure that our people's needs are met and we provide the infrastructure. And that's why we're doing programs like this. I'd like to hear your thoughts. You, of course, watch this is the platform where we speak to truth to power. You can see the pictures going across the screen with all the great African heroes there. Ibrahim Traore of Niger, General Chani Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, General Chani of Niger, and then you have Assimi Goïta of Mali, and then of course you have President Faye of Senegal and President Mohamed Idris Deby of Chad. These are people who are stepping up to speak up and say, no, we want to make sure that whatever benefit or resources we get, our people get first hand on it. They decide it. You do not come and start camping and tell us you have the right to take everything or take anything. This is what we need to be engaging our people in. Make them know our collective rights together. I guess what I'll be doing is I will stop here. I'm going to come back later on, but watch out for this video. We will probably do a live broadcast. In the meantime, what are your thoughts on this? How do you see this? Don't forget, before we go ahead, please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. So here's what we need to do. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY. Hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, and help us reach more people. We truly appreciate your support. What we're trying to do there is to bring this information to public knowledge so that we're aware of what they're doing and even be prepared to take steps, if need be, to ensure that what we do here remains something that is speaking truth to power and enlightening our people to hold their governors to account. That is of immense importance. What I'd like to say now is to say thank you very much for watching. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to power. Please leave your comments. Let's hear from you. Do you agree that the action of the government in agreeing for the extraction of our resources at dirt cheap prices is to the detriment of the people, and we the people have the right now to participate in governance and begin to direct their actions through holding up to account to explain to us where the funds are going, who authorized it, so we can find out this and prevent it from happening in the future. I hope you find this beneficial. You're of course watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you and bye for now.